Hi, Amy. So how are you doing? I know I guess this is going to be your first time on the NAB show floor with a booth from Program Productions. That's obviously not happening. So how are things otherwise?
Things are fine here. Everyone's healthy to start. It's nice to see you. Any mix up in my day is kind of nice. I feel like these Zoom calls have taken over my entire house.
Yes.
Um, the parents, the kids, everybody's screaming that it's their turn for a Zoom call.
Right.
Um, but yeah, this was the severity of the situation aside, this was a big disappointment for us that we didn't get to debut our expansions on the floor at NAB this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, let's talk about some of the things. So obviously, you would have been introducing people who maybe are not familiar with Program Productions to what you guys are all about and gals. So I want to give a quick. I know you guys do a lot. So for people from the outside looking in, what is Program Productions all about?
So Program Productions is the most well-known arm of our companies, and we are a full-service labor provider. We are the employer of record. We are the sole responsible party as the employer. We take on all the liability of hiring, managing, vetting, and scheduling a huge group of variable hour employees. That means we take on the liability of the employer, and there's a million details that go into that that nobody wants to handle, which is why Program Productions has been so successful in becoming, being successful because we have become experts in the labor industry, which is very intricate now, and nobody wants to deal with it. We've expanded nationally. We have boots on the ground in most major markets. So we're operating on a national level, but we do have that local touch. Our crewers in all the markets have been there 20 plus years in most cases and are the best of the best in terms of scheduling, crewing, and managing a large group of people with very specific needs and talents.
Right, sure. So, I was thinking it was only 2 months ago that, I was in Chicago for the NBA All-Star game with a lot of people being very irresponsible, I guess, in hindsight. But and it was a big, massive show for your company and obviously all around Chicago. So can you talk a little bit about the growth? What's been sort of the keys to making that expansion and growth happen?
So obviously that's a unique case in that it's such a huge event. It happens to be in our hometown of Chicago, so it was a great event for us. It's a lot of people working at the same time in a small area. So the first challenge is getting enough people that are highly skilled because Turner's not going to accept the bench crew or the C-level crew. So
Right.
we spend a lot of time making sure the people we provide are skilled, and that means continually training and pushing up and advancing and trying to get the up and comers in a position where they're really getting the true experience they need to then fulfill a huge need of people on a show like the All-Star Game.
Sure. Now, obviously, getting the staff is only half the puzzle. The other half is making sure they're all paid and everybody's happy. So I know there's that aspect of the company as well. So can you walk through that? And so there's the XLT management services.
So while Program Productions as a full service labor management company, we do end-to-end hiring to payroll. Um, what we have expanded to as a group of companies is a payroll and HR service company only. So we had a lot of clients coming to us, not necessarily needing the crewing aspect of Program Productions, and in that a company called XLT Management Service was born, and XLT Management Services handles payroll and HR. So while XLT was part of the All-Star group, and that we had some groups there that do only utilize the XLT group for payroll, where we process, handle, and act as the employer of record for those groups in terms of all the financial liability, taxes, and administration for them. And both of those companies, Program Productions and XLT, utilize ProCrewz, which would be the third arm of our group of companies now. And ProCrewz is a technology side of the companies where we are developing the platforms for the data management and the ProCrewz mobile app for on-site event management, which both Program Productions and XLT can utilize to flow, that stream of labor information through event management, and ultimately the most important part of our jobs, to accurately and pay people on time. You know, most recently, our most important job was actually getting checks in the mail or direct deposits in the accounts, right?
Right.
The last 4, maybe 5 weeks now, our main focus has been making sure that we can administer payroll from, our remote offices, which went from our central location in the Chicago office to within 24 hours able to operate from other locations and still get payroll done on time.
Yeah, that's not an easy task, that's for sure.
It wasn't easy, and credit to our internal operations. We've been really focusing on beefing up the operations, our staff, and just really becoming 100% infallible in terms of getting people paid. At the
Sure.
end of the day, nobody cares if we can, provide a great crew. If that crew is not getting paid, they don't want to work for us. So while we
Right.
are certainly the preferred crewer, we're also the preferred employer at the other end, where people know they're going to get their check within 2 weeks of a day of work.
Right, right, right. Well, appreciate being in partner with you guys and gals. Obviously, I think everyone's hoping that things in the fall are going to be insanely busy by, let's call it September, October. You guys will be scrambling to find plenty of crews if the NBA, the NHL, college football, the NFL, the U.S. Open golf, and the Kentucky Derby are all taking place the same couple weeks. So thanks for your time. Obviously, stay safe, and best to you and the team.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you.
You too. Thanks. Bye.